Hi friends, good morning. Today is Friday, May 22nd, 2020. It's our last day talking about point of view, and today we're going to talk about first person versus third person. I know we've talked about it before in the past, so do you remember how to tell the difference? If not, not a big deal. We're going to go over it today, all right? So let's go ahead and pick a focus goal if you haven't already. Most friends, I think, are starting to pick focus goals for the entire week, but if you still pick one for each day, you can definitely do that. Check in with yourself, make sure that you're ready to learn. Check in and see if you're feeling happy or feeling calm or feeling okay. If you're not feeling, your best, that's okay to pause the video and come back to it later. So our objectives today is that we're going to practice our sight words and that we're going to be able to identify and differentiate. That means tell the difference between text written in first person and third person. So today we're going to read two different stories and you're going to tell me if it's written in first person or if it's written in third person. That's another aspect or part of point of view, is being able to tell first person versus third person. There's also second person and other points of view, but we're only going to focus on first and third person in second grade. So let's go ahead and do our sight words. The word is until. The word is get ready, go. UNTIL, until. One more time, get ready, go. Nice. The word is children. The word is get ready, go. CHILDREN, children. One more time, get ready, go. Nice. The word is side. The word is get ready, go. SIDE, side. One more time, get ready, go. Nice. The word is feet. The word is get ready, go. FEET, feet. One more time, get ready, go. Nice. Last one. The word is important. The word is get ready, go. IMPORTANT, important. Your turn, get ready, go. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our lesson. Let's read our objective together. Echo after me. I will be able to identify and differentiate, that's a tricky word, that means tell the difference, between text written in first and third person. So when we're talking about point of view, and we're asking, if you're being asked if it's written in first or third person, you're being asked who is telling the story. So when someone is like, is it written in first or third person? All they're asking is who is telling the story. So if it's written in first person, it's going to be told by a character in the story. So some words or some pronouns that you might hear are I and me and we and mine. That's like, for example, if I had a story and I was like, once upon a time, I went to the forest and I met this witch. She gave me a potion that would make me happy forever. That's written in first person. You're hearing pronouns like I and me. I'm telling the story. You're hearing the keywords I, me, we, mine. Those are all telling you that it's written in first person because that's a character in the story. If you're reading it, or if it's in third person, it's told by a narrator, not in this story. So someone who is not involved in the story at all, you're not going to hear their name come up, nothing like that. So you're going to hear pronouns like he, she, her, and him. All right? So when we're being asked who's telling the story, or if it's in first or third person, there's some thinking steps that we can do to figure it out. So our first step is that we read our story or we read our passage. Then we can cross out or either focus or circle the dialogue. So who's doing the talking? Then you're going to focus on the pronouns, all right? So we talked about pronouns last week, I believe. Remember, pronouns are like he, her, his, I, mine, them. And then you ask yourself, because this can be tricky sometimes, does the text only have first or third person keywords? So if you're hearing only he, she, her, him, pronouns like that, then you know it's going to be third person. If you're hearing pronouns like I, me, we, and mine, you know it's first person. If you hear both of them, so if you hear I, me, or he, her in the same story, it's going to be in first person. Get it? Got it? All right, so let's practice. We're going to read two different stories today, and we're going to determine if our stories are first or third person. Let's start with nobody. So I want you to go ahead and read this first page on your own just to get some extra practice with reading. Then I'm going to finish reading the rest of the story for us, okay? So pause the video and read this first page. Did you pause it and read it? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Actually, before we even get started, there should be some clues or hints that already tell you whether or not it's in first or third person. On the count of 3, I want you to shout out if you think it's in first or third person already. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I think it could be in third person too. I'm seeing some pronouns like his, they, he. Let's read it and make sure that it's only in third person. Because remember, if we hear words like I and me and mine, then that's going to tell us it's in first person. A ship captain and his men were hungry and far from home. They found a cave with wonderful food inside. They were still eating when the giant who lived there came home. He had a single eye on his forehead. The giant rolled a huge stone across the mouth of the cave. The men were trapped. So, like we mentioned earlier, we're seeing a lot of pronouns like his. We saw they. We saw they again. We saw he, his. Those are all third person pronouns. When the giant saw the men, he grinned. Humans, tomorrow I will eat you for breakfast, the captain thought. Very well, he said, let it be. What is your name? The captain asked. Nobody, said the clever captain. Well, nobody, the giant said, as you wish. All right, so I know I mentioned that if you have I, that sometimes it's going to be in first person, even when you have third person keywords like he, him, and his. This, since it's in a dialogue, like someone's talking, you can tell because there's quotation marks, that does not count. So we're still considering it third person. So again, we're seeing pronouns like he. We're seeing pronouns like he again. All right, those are hints that this is in third person. With that, he went to sleep. The captain put his men to work. They found hot peppers, cut them up, and made a paste. They dripped the paste into the sleeping giant's eye. The giant woke up with a roar. He called for help. Other giants came running. They pushed away the stone. What's the matter? They called into the cave. I'm blind and in pain, the giant shouted. Who's to blame? They shouted back. Nobody, he said. Well, in that case, they said, leave us alone. Before the giant could roll back on the stone, the captain and his men escaped. So it sounded like they tricked him. We were able to see he and his and they and them a lot throughout our story, so we were able to determine that it is written in third person. We figured that out on the first page, but it's good that we finished reading the story just to double check, because I know that I've mentioned before, when you see I and a bunch of other third person keywords like he and him, then instead of it being in third person, it's going to be in first person. But in this case, that's not true. When it's in dialogue or when people are talking, you can tell because you see quotation marks. I does not count, so we're still considering it third person. All right. So now let's read our second story, Diary of a National Park Visit. Mom wants to see Yellowstone in winter on snowshoes. Yay, nature. Just kidding. It was close to dark today when we heard the first howl. Then I spotted a wolf above us on the hill to our north, black again. Then I spotted a wolf above us on the hill to our north. black against the white snow. Soon I spotted the whole pack, but then we heard another howl from the south. We turned and saw a second pack. They howled back and forth across the valley for the longest time. The sounds echoed in my head for hours. It still gives me chills, the good kind. What kind of pronouns are we seeing? I'm seeing we, I again, we again, me again. I'm seeing my too. What do you think these pronouns tell us? Is it in first or third person? Who remembers? We can go back if we need to. So we're seeing I, me, we a lot. Did we see any of he, she, her, him? No, so we know that it must be in first person. Let's keep going with our story. Whoa, I think that's it actually. So we know that our story was written in first person because we kept seeing I, we, me, and my. We know when we see those keywords, it lets us know that this is written in first person. All right. So how can you tell the difference between first and third person? You can look at the pronouns. The pronouns will be your biggest help. If you see he, her, his, him, you know that those are all third person pronouns. We know that that's a narrator outside of the story telling it. If we see pronouns like I, me, my, we know that that's first person and that's a character within our story that's telling our story. So again, there's no guided practice today. It's time for your exit ticket and your secret word is Rose. Have a good weekend.